Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Spencer and Zach Explore the Universe. This show is brought to you by Maine Spirits. You can learn more about the delicious spirits they bring into the state of Maine and cocktails you can make with them at mainspirits.com or download their app for your smartphone or follow them on Instagram at main_spirits. The show is also brought to you by Bull Moose. Buy more, learn more at bullmoose.com. By Sun Tiki Studios, currently closed for practice, but will be reopening soon. By the State Theater Portland, Maine. Go to statetheaterportland.com for more information on live streams and entertainment during the quarantine, during the pandemic. And we hope you enjoy our little holiday special. Y'all tucked in?
I am. I'm all tucked in. And you?
Are you ready? Yeah. Yeah, I'm cozy.
Would you say you're nestled all snug?
I am nestled snug as fuck.
Excellent.
Like, no one person is more snug than I right now.
Well, it sounds like you're doing Christmas right.
I am a sucker for the holiday spirit. I love it.
I start the season a little bit of a Grinch and work my way up to Christmas joy. I think I just get overwhelmed when Thanksgiving comes to an end and it's just like Christmas is on, like everywhere. Christmas music, Christmas lights.
Thanksgiving,
and then
Halloween.
I don't know. People are already asking if you've done your shopping yet. I'm like, no, it's just no.
Well, to the situation's credit, Zach, most people don't wait until the Christmas sales after Christmas to start their shopping.
Oh, come on. I don't wait till after Christmas. I just wait till the day before Christmas.
Christmas Eve, 11:30 p.m.
That's right.
Like, what's open? Everyone gets a Panera Bread Bowl gift certificate because that's what was open when I decided to start shopping. So I've got I poured myself a Dickel Rye.
Ooh.
On the rocks.
Nice.
I also grabbed some peanuts. Virginia peanuts from the Teddy Company.
I don't know if I'm familiar with Teddy Virginia
You
peanuts.
know Teddy peanut butter, right? It's like the peanut butter that your
Oh yeah, Teddy Smooth peanut butter.
Your parents who had your friends who had hippie parents.
When I was 14, my first ever job was working at the Goldenrod on York Beach. Mm-hmm. I worked in the dish room, but they went through a lot of Teddy peanut butter there, making their taffy and whatnot. And
really?
Their peanut brittles and I didn't work in that department, but I saw a lot of the empty plastic Teddy, whatever buckets coming through the dish room. And that's where I came up with my 90s rap name, which was Teddy Smooth.
That is a good name for you.
Teddy Smooth never put out any records, though. So I guess it's not too late.
I'm actually pleased to hear that the Goldenrod was using organic peanut butter in their taffy.
Yeah, it's world famous, delicious taffy.
I know, but I don't know.
You just assumed they were using like the store brand peanut butter.
But house
made
recipe.
purely with chemicals.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, the government surplus World War II peanut butter.
Yeah, you have to use a can opener. It's in a metal can. You have to use the opener.
Yep, I'm actually old enough.
It's
that,
a metal can with a ring on it.
Yep. My grandmother was receiving still like government cheese and stuff when I was a young kid, and government peanut butter. You know what? It was different. Like pizza and cheese, I kind of feel like there is no such thing as terrible peanut butter. Like even the dried circle of brittle peanut flavored like grout that's in between like the Austin brand crackers, like even that's like all right. But now I'm like all into luxury peanut butter.
I actually still get down with plastic
like
jar
Jif?
peanut butter.
Skippy,
I'm
I'll eat the
into it.
shit out of either of those brands. Mm-hmm. Like without hesitation.
Yeah.
But
and also,
nice peanut.
I'm all about the crunchy peanut butter.
I'm fine with both. Yep.
I'm fine
Great.
with both.
I can join you at
Crunchy is
the
where it's
crunch
at
party.
if I have a choice.
It's funny that you like the crunch, but you go by Teddy Smooth.
It's just one of life's great ironies.
Is it great?
In some circles.
Sorry. Yeah. Right. Depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
So it's almost Christmas, and Zach is only in this way in his life a Scrooge. It's funny to hear you say that you're a Scrooge because like you're just generally like you have Christmas spirit like all year long.
That's right. My Christmas spirit kicks in actually January 1st.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be around that. It's like
Too
much of a good
Christmas
thing.
music right after New Year's.
Yeah, unabashed joy, unmitigated joy.
Just Santa hat through
yep.
like July and August.
Mm-hmm. So last year we did a big holiday hoo-ha spectacular, which took some weeks to write and record and all that. This year we're going to do something a little more chill because there's COVID and it's hard to get people together to write, I don't know, like a full hour and a half long musical. It's just difficult.
It's difficult.
But yeah, we do want to recognize the day coming up, the holiday.
I mean, as we're recording this, it is the night before Christmas.
That's right. Yeah, like shopping. Well, full disclosure, we had a different show planned, and technology defied us. The intertubes deceived us.
Yeah, as you pointed out, due to COVID, we cannot meet in person, and when technology fails, it fails everything.
Really failed us. And so I believe we turned disappointment into a different type of disappointment for you, the listener.
Disappointment aid.
So tonight we would like to offer you a reading of The Night Before Bullshit. The Night Before Christmas.
Yeah, and I'm sure all of the listeners just perked up with joy at the thought of the two of us reading The Night Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you have children that are still under the impression that a person with no doubt has diabetes is breaking into their house in the middle of the night and leaving them gifts.
And eating their cookies.
Yeah, hence the diabetes.
Yes.
I mean, how many homes are there in America alone? 250 million times 3 cookies each?
Minimum.
I guess he's not visiting everybody's house. But you know what? First, I'm going to call some bullshit on Santa because, like, of course, like, Christmas is a Christian holiday and Santa Claus is tied to Christmas, so it's kind of a Christian invention, right? And as it turns out, like, I grew up in York, Maine. I'm a small town boy, but it turns out not everybody celebrates Christmas.
Yeah, it turns out.
Right. So it turns out maybe more than half of the people in the world don't. But not that you'd know that by going anywhere. Yeah, but if Santa was like really cool, he'd still be like, "Hey, I know you're into a different thing, but I was just flying by thinking of you, and you also have children, so here's a bike," you know. But he doesn't. You know.
Yeah.
But that if I wanted to, like, I don't know, really spread what I consider to be Christmas cheer, I would lean more into the inclusive gift giving. Mm-hmm. All secular matters aside, we're looking at the season, and not to dismiss the reason for the season, but I think this is a time of year that's enjoyed by people of all kinds of denominations. That holiday spirit, and this is a good story. This one, right. I mean, it's classic.
Did you have a second to look at the Wikipedia page for it? Because I did.
No, I was doing other things.
That's okay. I think I was looking at this while you were doing other things. So
perfect.
But I've already learned a couple things about The Night Before Christmas.
Tell me.
And the first one is the actual title is A Visit from St. Nicholas.
Okay.
However, it's more commonly known as The Night Before Christmas or Twas the Night Before Christmas. It was first published anonymously in 1823 and later attributed to Clement Clark Moore, who claimed authorship in 1837. It doesn't say who said this, but the poem has been called arguably, this is air quotes now around this part, arguably the best known verses ever written by an American, and is largely responsible for some of the conceptions of Santa Claus from the mid-19th century to today. It has had a massive effect on the history of Christmas gift-giving. Before the poem gained wide popularity, American ideas had varied considerably about St. Nicholas and other Christmas-side visitors. A visit from St. Nicholas eventually was set to music. Oh, I didn't know that. And has been recorded by many artists, including us here today. So I guess
whoever wrote that air quote, obviously saying it's the most well-known verse written by an American, has obviously not heard Freebird.
I was going to say like maybe Bob Dylan or somebody would beg to differ, but yeah, Freebird.
No. Skinnerd.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely Skinnerd. Sorry, how silly of me.
Dylan. He's from New York in the 60s. That's basically England.
Actually, he's from Minnesota.
Oh, is he now?
He is. Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's not where... If he'd stayed there, we wouldn't know who he was, I guess.
That's true.
Maybe we would. We'd know, like, Dylan's, line of, dry cleaners or something.
He still would use his stage name for his dry cleaning company.
That's right, yeah. Dylan's Dry Cleaning. Hey, you have a stain in your coat? Leave it with us. Don't think twice. It's all right.
Oh.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
Do you still hang stockings at your house?
Yes. But we've never hung them by the chimney. I think hanging them by the chimney implies... Well, first of all, it's a huge fucking fire hazard. One. Two, like...
So you're still burning fireplace fires, but not hanging your stockings because you don't want to...
Look, I'm on natural gas. I'm a renter. Like, let's get real.
Okay.
I am not in the fireplace income bracket, nor have I ever been. I grew up with a wood stove, and if we left our stockings by that wood stove, whatever was inside of them, either the stockings would have melted or caught on fire, depending on whether your family could afford real wool yarn or not. But yeah, it's a nightmare. No, we hung them on the stairs because they ascend, and it's a nice display.
It's nice.
Yeah. How about you? Where'd you hang your stockings?
I mean, we still put the stockings by the fireplace. We don't. I mean, I guess occasionally we'll do the fireplace fire. I mean, a fireplace fire at this point is cosmetic, right? Like, it's not really.
Oh, you have a fireplace?
We do have a fireplace, yeah, in the living room. I mean, we don't use it for like heating the house.
Uptown Jones.
But every now and then we'll open it up and throw in the Duraflame log.
Good thing you all don't smoke cigarettes.
I mean, again, you're not getting any serious heat off the fireplace. Like that's strictly a it doesn't look pretty with this log that has like a flammable paper wrapped around it. You just light it and it takes off on its own.
Mm-hmm. It mostly goes up the flue. Although if you have a brick fireplace or a stone fireplace, it will warm the stones, and that is where you get a lasting effect.
But yeah, I don't know. We still have the stockings hanging out, but it's not as I don't know. Yeah, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
The children were all nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap. had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap.
That sounds like they're doing heavy drugs.
It does.
It sounds like they put the kids to bed and they hit the medicine cabinet.
I had in front of me, it says, settled our brains. And I couldn't, my brain was like, no, that's not right. It's settled down or settled. But no, it just settled our brains for a long winter's nap.
See, I know that that's also bullshit because at this point I can lay down and rest my body, but my brain will keep me up all night.
Yeah, I mean,
it's resting your brains. That's not up to you.
Also, I don't know, if your brain activity ceases, doesn't that just mean you're not alive anymore?
Also, this is evidence that the person who wrote this didn't have children, because there's nobody who's like staying up late. Again, if you have children who believe in Santa Claus, please turn this off. Or in front of them anyway. But like, there's no parent who's up all night pretending to be Santa Claus and then waking up when their kids who are just all ready to spring out of bed with any sign of daylight or not. Like the second they wake up, that's when the family's awake. I've done it to my parents, right?
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah. Long winter's nap. What luxury? Like this is somebody. Okay, it's probably somebody with nannies.
Yeah.
If they have kids at all.
Also, I don't even know what a sugar plum is, but I assume it's some sort of sweet fruit. I mean, is a sugar plum different than a regular plum?
It sounds like off-brand candy to me.
Yeah, same. That's what I was thinking. Like some sort of like weird boxed gummy.
It's just a block of gummy, like no fun shape, just rectangular. You just cut into it with a knife. Have as much gummy as you like.
I mean, when I was a kid waiting for that moment where I could wake up and tear into my presents, I definitely was not dreaming of sugar plums. I was dreaming of like G.I. Joes and He-Man action figures.
Yeah, it's just further evidence that it sucked to be alive whenever this was written. I can't. I mean, we point out the commercialism of Christmas at the top of the show, but now it's just like, I don't know. Presents are awesome.
It was also interesting to see that apparently this is credited with that sort of unified vision of Christmas that we all have now.
Yeah, it was probably like it appeared in a Macy's ad or something. There's probably like some 1958 Macy's read of this. Speaking of which, when out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter. I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. Sash.
Why did he eat the sash? Of course he's going to throw up.
Well, the problem is they settled their brains just prior to this with a little, little Zarbar probably.
I feel like the next line of this too should be, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. I quickly turned the combination on my gun safe.
Yep.
And reached for my ammunition as I chased the intruder.
When out on the lawn there arose such a chatter, I looked down on my bed and saw that I'd shatter.
Plus, that being said, I don't encourage anybody to reach into their gun safe and attempt to kill Santa Claus, if in fact Santa Claus is real.
Yeah, you're talking about don't shoot your parents.
Exactly.
Good call.
But in this case, the parent who is the narrator of this was awakened by a noise outside. So
I hear a noise outside. You do not run to the window and whip open the curtains to what's that? Like I go, like Bruce Willis in Die Hard, like sneaking around the corner, peeking. I turn off the lights and like crawl.
I usually just roll over and put the pillow over my head and just hope everything works out fine. Still wake up the next morning.
I do that too. I mean, what's the alternative unless you're going to arm yourself?
Yeah.
By the bed.
The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow
Hot.
gave the luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer.
Okay. I mean, I know that this is because this was written before now, and I understand why Coca-Cola would need to make Santa big, because so does their product. But this is not the Santa I grew up with. Is this like my white Jesus moment? Like, what do you mean Jesus is white, not white with like red hair? Because that's what was in the church I went to as a kid.
Same.
Oh, Jesus. That would be, or McJesus maybe. I guess everyone sees God in their own image, right? But I was not aware until I heard this poem for the first time as a child that Saint Nick was he himself an elf. Were you?
No. I can't. I have heard that before, but I feel like I just heard it from some Christmas movie somewhere along the lines. I had not interpreted that from this poem before.
But I feel like I've seen like lots of movies where Santa walks into the workshop, oh, 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 and there's all these elves running around, and he's not one of them. So what this blasphemous prose?
I mean, this is like the Twilight Zone. The mini sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer showing up.
Tiny reindeer? Yeah. Like what is this? Like how tiny are we talking? That's the other thing too. Like, if he's actually super tiny, then that explains the whole being able to fit down the chimney thing.
Have you ever seen that? There's a classic Twilight Zone episode. And I think it's actually called The Intruders, where this like miniature spaceship lands on the roof of this woman's barn, and like, they're basically like, they're just walking around trying to figure out what's going on. She's like,
Angus Moorhead is the actress in that who played the mother in Bewitched.
Ah, that's right.
So yes, I've seen it.
Yes, that does answer that question.
It does.
So yeah, you know how it goes, and it turns out, of course, that they are humans visiting from space, and she's the alien. Is the twist? Spoiler alert.
Oh, so what you're saying is that Santa is normal sized and we are giants?
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah, anything's
that
possible.
He's visiting from the Santa planet and not actually the North Pole, and we're giants.
On the anything's possible tip, before COVID times, like you hear like flat earthers and you're like, that's ridiculous. But like after this year, it's like, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Like, I don't fucking know. Maybe they're onto something. I don't know. I mean, my science research and edification really lives and dies with science fiction. So what do I really know?
Yeah.
Like, I own a copy of Cosmos. Have I actually like read it meaningfully? No.
But I've seen every episode of Star Trek multiple times.
So many times. Yeah, the only parts of the Carl Sagan book that I would really take a vested interest in is when he's like, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, oh, Star Trek is very good. I'm like, yeah, me too. I love that too. Talk more about Star Trek.
Yeah. Carl Sagan did write Contact, though.
I fucking love that movie.
That's a great movie.
I actually just rewatched it. Crunching my eyes.
I've watched it within the past couple of years.
It holds up.
It does hold up.
It holds right
also,
up.
I feel like I feel like we maybe have even talked about this on the show before, but I feel like if we were to actually make contact with aliens, that would be how the initial contact happens, is, broken radio signals or something like, yeah, like that. I don't know if they would send us like the blueprints to create our own machine to travel, but
I don't know. Maybe they would. Or maybe the Earth is flat. I don't know. I'm not a flat earther, by the way. Don't. All right. Well, you got the hot stanza. I'll move on. With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. This is why people despise the English.
because they don't speak American.
That's right. Coursers. Now I got to go look this up. A courser is a swift horse.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, couldn't you said horses? How about that? What rhymes with coursers?
Yeah,
But everyone fucking knows what it means. Horses. Stop trying so hard.
Except for he already established that they're reindeer, not horses.
Well, then why is he calling them coursers, which means swift horse? It's not swift reindeer. It's not swift deer. It's not swift moose. It's swift horse. So he basically just said the same. He made it wrong and fancy.
Yeah, and also my suspension of disbelief is completely gone now. This poem is broken for me now because I don't know if I'm supposed to picture reindeer or horses. When it was just a tiny sleigh and a tiny dude with tiny reindeer. But now,
Well, maybe he's inferring that there are additional steed on the lawn. So I don't even know what that looks like. Yeah, it's bullshit. He should have said horses. And I'm gonna just be defiantly. I'm gonna take the role as defiant American guy right now.
Do you think it's possible that we have gotten this wrong the whole time, and his sleigh is actually pulled by 8 tiny reindeer, as well, in addition to swift horses?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, I'm only just really learning that his sleigh is tiny.
Because also, he's about to call out the names of the coursers. So maybe we never actually learn the name of the reindeer, just his swift horses.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're going down some like fan theory shit. Like you need to have a sub YouTube channel for whatever it is you're trying to do right
now. Saint Nick theory. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all.
But do they recall the most famous reindeer of all? Ba-dum-bum-bum, he didn't mention Rudolph.
I guess this was
What the
before
fuck?
one of the Christmases before they realized how special Rudolph was.
So they didn't. When did Rudolph come around? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to guess and say it like it's fact. Probably invented in the 50s by Burl Ives when they made that fucking movie.
See, my suspension of disbelief came back, and I forgot that this is just fiction, and was thinking that maybe Rudolph was just hanging out back at the North Pole, and everything's cool.
Okay, look. We're impressing upon young people, very, very young people, that this is true. And then we're going to pedal back, right? Mm-hmm. With these theories. No, this has been presented as fact, and we are debunking this shit right now. Okay. So we're just going to add to the story when it's convenient. Okay, when did Rudolph come into play? We could probably look at it on the internet, look it up on the internet, but we're not gonna. So Rudolph isn't here, so it's another reason why this poem is shit. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the house top, the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. All right.
I'm glad the coursers didn't leave St. Nicholas behind.
Horses. Just say horses. Jesus Christ. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly. Okay. I'm not like Bob Dylan good. We all know this, but you know, I've spent a career in wordsmithery. That thing reads like a mouthful of thumbtacks. It's awful.
I think it's that before is weird in there because I get the imagery. I mean, obviously it's before a hurricane, it's windy out, the leaves are flying through the air, but
okay,
dry leaves that before.
And dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly. When they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky.
Oh, I see. You have to read this like an idiot.
Yeah. Or that first line at least is like, as dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly.
If Yoda read this, it wouldn't rhyme. It'd be awful.
And leaves dry as that before. Wild hurricane, the fly.
Yeah, I mean, we could just cut the as leaves that before the wild hurricane flies.
Or he could
don't
have just
know.
said, as before the wild hurricane, the dry leaves fly.
It's funny that you and I are critiquing this well-known poem because we're going to die alone and only like 600 people will ever have heard the music we've made. But yeah, we're the experts.
And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning aground, down the chimney, St. Nicholas came with a bound.
So yeah, I want to actually step back to the last one and say like, oh, so he lands on the lawn and then goes up to the roof. That's a bit of a show. And then in a twinkling, I heard on the roof a twinkling.
Well, it didn't say he landed before, I don't think, right?
I thought
Just says...
no, he said something about the lawn. Let's go back.
well, he
Out
just
on the
says,
lawn, there arose such a clatter. I sprang from the bed to see what's like out
Oh,
on the
yeah,
lawn.
yeah, yeah. You're right. Out on the lawn, I guess. He was on the lawn.
He lands and she's like, "Oh, hello!
St.
I'm here.
Nicholas here.
I'm here with my tiny coursers. Wanted you to see me before I head to your roof."
I say there. Which way to your roof, good man?
Yeah. Which way up? And then in a twinkling, I heard on the roof. See, I think, try reading your next, you know how like you hit the end and it kind of came apart timing-wise?
Yeah.
I think if you hit the next, let's hit our next, I'll hit the next stanza or whatever you want to call it. And maybe try yours in the style of an theatrically over-dramatic person.
Like Master Thespian.
Yes, exactly. He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, Peter Nightmare, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. I've never seen that, have you?
Nope.
A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opened his pack. Oh, I'm sorry. And he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. See, even it's a little wordy. It's a little
Yeah,
wordy.
and also now I'm back to being suspicious of is this, because we always picture the Coca-Cola Santa Claus, and now we're talking about a guy who looks like a peddler who's covered in soot and ashes, and so now I'm back to I don't know if I want this guy on my roof. What's in that
No.
pack of his? Is he here to
No,
steal
you
stuff?
Yeah, I mean, this is a story about someone breaking into the house. Anyway,
His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry.
wonderful.
His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow.
Jones, that was really good. No notes.
Thanks. And yeah, I feel good about that.
I do want to say that he's used, and then in a twinkling, and now the eyes have twinkled. So maybe another thing we learned tonight, which I'm not going to look up because why could I be bothered? Is twinkle one of those words that has multiple uses, like fuck,
Let's see, a verb. It's glitter or run lightly. Yeah,
That's
what I
it.
got. Yeah.
So then in a what's the definition?
Well, yeah. There's glitter or run lightly. Also, let's see, where is this coming from now? I'm on my iPhone, so I just clicked the lookup. It has
No
a
worries,
couple
no
different
worries.
sources here. New
so
Oxford.
then in a glitter.
So yeah, that was from Oxford Thesaurus and Oxford American. The New Oxford American says, "Shine with a gleam that varies repeatedly between bright and faint."
Okay, so then maybe because also come lightly was one of the definitions. So maybe what he's saying is and then in a
kind of in a come lightlying, like, oh, very light on the roof. Anyway.
It's like, yeah, he made a clatter when he landed on the lawn, but was smooth as silk when he landed on the roof. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. He can really land that. He's like a Sully.
Yes, that's right.
The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly.
So is he still on the roof at this point? And somehow this guy's seeing all of this?
Yeah, so maybe he came out, maybe it's inferred that he came out to the lawn to look up on the roof.
That could be. And Santa's up there, or sorry, Saint Nick is up there just smoking and laughing all by himself. Looking like a peddler, covered in ash and soot.
And that's fine, but this is told from the first person. The first time we see that this guy, he was in bed with his cap on, and I'm not sure when the Caps for Men at Night, presuming is written by a dude, so presuming that the main character's a dude.
Well, he says his wife was in her
right.
Yeah,
but it could have been a very extremely progressive early American writing.
Also, it's not. He doesn't say his wife. He says "mama" in her kerchief and "I in my cap." So,
Mama, ooh,
I in my cap.
I like your kerchief. Who's this fucking guy? He's on our roof with deer and I don't know what the fuck. Such a little clatter. Anyway.
He was chubby and plump.
Oh, wait, hold on. I was going to stick a landing on that point.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
I just realized we went down a rabbit hole. So he's writing from the first person. So yes, it'd be weird to jump from first person to narrative, right? And there's no, I don't know. There's nothing telling us that he jumped back and forth from first person to narrative. So yes, he must be seeing all of this, right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he's assuming that all this shit happened.
So this also reminds me of another movie, which is Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver.
Go on.
Stick with me here.
I love it.
So that whole movie is from the perspective of Travis Bickle. Like, you're always seeing things the way that he sees it. Mm-hmm. But there is one scene in the movie that he is not in. And it's when Harvey Keitel is talking to Jodie Foster. And I think it's either right before or right after De Niro goes up there, but so Scorsese put in a shot where it starts with De Niro in the cab out on the street, and then the camera goes up in through the window, so it's still supposed to be it maintains that he is there, even though it's the only part of the story that is outside of his perspective. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So. But yeah, there's no setup shot like that in this poem so far. So it must all be from the narrator's perspective.
Right. Or maybe if we go back. Yeah, you know what? Just because something's the most popular doesn't mean it's the best written, right? Looking at you, Ron Stewart.
Oh,
actually, yeah, that was a bad example because he doesn't write his own shit.
Carrying on.
Mm-hmm. Please, yeah, I'm sorry to have interrupted you. I'm looking.
No, it's okay. I interrupted you first. I'm glad you.
What? No. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm
the one who's sorry.
I interrupted.
He was chubby.
I
and
interrupted
plump.
You first. I just want you to know that.
He was chubby and plump,
Heard.
a right jolly old elf. And I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. Confirmation that it's still from the narrator's point of view. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread.
So,
it gave me to know.
Yep. Soon gave me to know. He's really, I don't know, he keeps calling him out on his body weight. I'm starting to take this fucking poem a little personally.
Well, it's also confusing because he sets it up that he's tiny, he's in a miniature sleigh.
Yeah, this is just judging.
But now he's chubby and plump. And also, I don't know if this definitively makes Santa an elf, because this is just this judgy guy watching him who said he's a right jolly old elf. It's not like
well, you already mentioned tiny sleigh, tiny reindeer. It's inferred.
That's true.
If
But
I
this
say
guy could just be
infer
an
one
asshole.
more time in this podcast, Zach, mail me a punch in the face. Look, yeah, this narrator better be Chris Helmsworth. Or like, you know what I mean? Like some specimen of man. Yeah. You know, charitable. And judging by the way, okay, you know, the way it's written, the stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth. Like, yeah, this guy fucks.
A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. Mm-hmm. All right, dude.
Relax.
Yeah, I think Santa should start dreading you.
Yeah.
Pack up
Stop
that.
judging him. Stop calling him names. Like, just let him be, like, whatever. Like, the dude's parking his car on your roof and bringing down presents for your kids that you didn't buy and then wrap and wake up after you're resting your brain for a long winter's nap. This is some fucking prick, some upper crust prick with a nanny who takes care of his children who he doesn't know. He's like, oh. Probably what he saw is the nanny's lover just breaking into the house to like get their swerve on while the kids are asleep. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and then filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. He was laying his fingers side of his nose, and giving a nod. Up the chimney he rose. So, terrible English accent. I'd like to try it again as Morgan Freeman.
Okay, you had like a little bit of, it was like a Christopher Plummer mixed with,
Yeah.
why am I blanking on his name? The man with the golden gun, Dracula, Count Dooku. Christopher Lee.
Christopher.
You had like a half Christopher Plummer, half Christopher Lee going there.
I'll take it. I mean, those are great voices.
Yeah.
I feel like if I think about doing an English accent, then I can't do it. But if I just do it, I can do it. I'll try it again. Give me another read.
You got it.
Okay. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. Then laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose.
That was great.
Oh, not bad?
I still kind of want to hear the Morgan Freeman one, though, just because you brought it up.
He spoke not a word. Sorry, I was still stuck in English.
Rickman.
He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work.
I asked you for a Freeman and got a Rickman, but I'll take it.
I thought you said Rickman.
That's just because you started
After.
doing Rickman.
Anyway, let's speak to this.
Yes.
Laying his finger aside of his nose.
So
Cocaine?
Yes.
Yeah.
This implies because now he's like doing the nose thing apparently to pull himself back up the chimney. So somewhere unspoken in this poem, he came down the chimney. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Did the nose thing actually trigger his being pulled back up the chimney, or was that just coincidence? He happened to do that.
I think this is all a drug allegory. I really do. And it's not because I just smoked a bunch of weed before he did this either.
A little of Mephistopheles' medicine.
That's right. Beelzebub's brain rest. You want to take us out on this one?
All right.
Can you do this as Gilbert Gottfried, please?
He sprang to his sleigh,
to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew. Like
Get
the
up higher.
down-
You got it. You got it. Get into it. Lean into it.
He sprang to his sleigh, and to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Not bad. Especially for like that was hot potato. I don't think I've ever thrown you a Godfrey before.
No, I did tease a Godfried when we were talking about SNL, but I think you told me I sounded nothing like him. I can't remember what you said it was.
Well, it's like when I used to do, I can't remember an impression. Steve Drown was under the impression that all of my impressions sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Or no, all of my impressions sounded like Woody Allen doing an impression of. I'm not one to one up, but I think I threw you Godfrey, and I didn't do so to do so, but I think I can. Can I try it as
please do.
Gilbert Gottfried?
He sprang to his sleigh, and to his team gave a whistle. And away they all flew down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all my wife's vagina.
This poem's fine, by the way. B plus, not bad.
Yeah, sure. The classic Christmas poem that's defined the way
It's fine.
the centuries have celebrated Christmas.
It's
It's
fine.
fine.
That guy never made any money. It sounds like he didn't need it after all the nannies and the cocaine. Thanks for the
mention,
public
I mean-
domain piece on the podcast that can't afford shit.
I mean, this Clement Moore guy, he just took credit for it. But it's so,
Yeah,
I mean,
Clement
maybe he
Moore.
didn't write it.
That name has blue collar written all over it. Hey,
wonder-
Clement, throw me the pickaxe. They're coming right up, sir. Very good, very good. So, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all.
And to all, a good night. Spencer and Zach Explore the Universe is brought to you by Maine Spirits, Bull Moose, State Theater Portland, Maine, Sun Tiki Studios, and the Maine Music Alliance. This show is a Mistakes Were Made production.